Here is a vintage oil lamp. It's a beautiful antique, but actually using it is messy, inconvenient, smelly, and potentially dangerous. It sure would be nice if we could convert it into an electric lamp. Well, that's exactly what this product promises to do. Electrify your oil lamp. No tools needed. Easily changed back to oil when power fails. It was originally sold at YDC, and the price is unfortunately cut off, but I think it was either $2.99 or $3.99. On the back it says, "This beautiful brass finish gallery adapter electrifies your oil lamp in seconds. No tools needed." And that brass finish is certainly still beautiful after probably at least half a century since this was made, and has a very snappy light switch. It was manufactured by W.N. Desherbinen Products Incorporated of Hawleyville, Connecticut. As for exactly when this product was manufactured, that's unfortunately difficult to nail down. The concept of converting a gas or oil lamp into an electric lamp dates back almost as far as electricity itself. Here's a newspaper ad from January 1917. Electrify your oil lamp. Simply unscrew the oil burner, screw in an electric adapter, and your favorite oil lamp becomes an electric lamp. Basically the same idea as what I have. According to the information I was able to find, this company incorporated in 1953, and although this mid-century 1950s style of artwork on the packaging would have been quite dated by then, I think this might actually be from the mid to late 1960s due to its emphasis on being easily changed back to oil when power fails, something that would have been on people's minds after the massive blackout that struck the Northeast U.S. in 1965. W.N. Desherbinen was in business selling lamp parts until surprisingly recently. In the last catalog they published, they were still selling what they called electrified burners. After more than 90 years in business, they merged with a company called Classic Lamp Parts in 2023, and in 2024 they announced that W.N. Desherbinen is no longer in business and they have closed their Danbury, Connecticut operation. On the bottom it says, "This converter fits," but doesn't actually say what it fits. It has this screw collar that you use to attach it to the base of the oil lamp, and the threads on it are about 1 1/8 inches in diameter. Once removed from the packaging, you could see the brass finish gallery adapter with the fingers to retain the glass chimney of the oil lamp. Inside it is a standard light socket and a very tightly coiled power cord. Once I take that out and uncoil it, there's definitely no way I'm ever getting that back in there. There's the switch to turn on and off the lamp, and there's where the power cord comes out with the tag indicating it's UL listed, and that's where it screws on to the base of the oil lamp. But this can't be that much newer than that 1965 blackout I mentioned, because it still has a non-polarized plug. You can see both prongs are the same size. In 1969, it became mandatory for all new appliances and lamps to have a polarized plug in order to be UL listed. And by the way, UL is not a government agency, but here in the US they have pretty much become the de facto standard for electrical safety. Here is a very basic oil lamp which really isn't beautiful enough to be worth converting to electric, nor is it an antique. It's probably actually from the late 1980s or early 1990s. But it's what I've got, so it'll have to do for this test. It does look like the glass chimney will fit once I remove the power cord, because it's pretty much the same diameter, so that should work. There's no oil left in it, but it does have a wick which can be adjusted up and down. And this part unscrews from the base. And there is the whole part of the wick there. You can see it's empty in there. It says, fill half full of kerosene only. On the bottom it says Kadin Limited. They were a company based in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, who began making oil lamps in 1971. I do remember my family and I visiting the Pennsylvania Dutch country when I was a kid in the late 80s or early 90s, and that's likely when and where we picked up this oil lamp. We did actually use it a couple of times, but otherwise it's mostly just been a decoration since then. As the packaging claims, it can electrify your oil lamp in seconds. So let's see how many seconds it takes. First, remove the glass chimney and then unscrew the burner and remove it. Then screw on this part, which hopefully will fit. Yeah, it does appear to fit. Then carefully remove this power cord and hopefully the glass chimney will fit on the new piece. And it is a little snug. Let's see. May have to spread out these little fingers a little bit, but it should fit. There it goes. And that's it. Now that we've electrified this oil lamp, we need to choose an appropriate bulb to put in it, because at least to me, a modern LED bulb just wouldn't look right in it, or for that matter, a conventional incandescent bulb. Sure, it'll work, but especially with the clear chimney of this one, it just wouldn't look right. Especially with how it sits up near the top of this rounded part, whereas the flame of an oil lamp would be pretty much directly in the middle of it. Now here's a bulb that I think would look more appropriate. It's an APCO Grand Lancia 25 watt torpedo shape bulb, which is probably almost as old as this base is. Don't have an exact date, but probably may even be old as the 60s. So here it is. It's designed to look similar to the shape of a flame. And it definitely does work. And we can put our glass cover over it. And that looks a lot better. And there are other varieties of electric light bulbs designed to simulate the look of a flame, such as these Allura decorator light bulbs, which are a clear torpedo shape, so you can see the filament directly in them. Well, these are GE flame tip amber coated bulbs, designed to look even more like the color temperature of a burning flame. So let's try out one of these amber flame tip bulbs. GE said the exquisite quality of these General Electric bulbs complements the beauty of your home, whatever the decor. The soft amber light creates a subtle ambiance, contributing to enjoyable dining and entertainment. Light that enhances your home. And it looks like a turn signal. Yeah, I'm not so impressed by that. It's definitely not very flame-like. It's more like a turn signal bulb. I think your best bet is going to be one of these clear flame tip or torpedo shaped bulbs, because you almost don't even see it in there when it's turned off. And when you turn it on, you get a nice, bright, crisp light. So that's how you can electrify your oil lamp, which was quite a popular thing to do because many people had these vintage oil lamps and liked how they looked, but wanted the convenience and practicality of electric light. And even today, you can buy lamps that look like a vintage oil lamp, but are electric.